All right, welcome back to the OlimoLeague, folks. It's game number 2 in the semifinals. I'm MarineKing casting this morning with James. And James, buddy, why don't you kick off these intros?
Alright, overgrowth, 1 o'clock positions, spawning as... Wait, are we looking... Yes, we are. What is that? Turquoise, Protoss, Liquids, HerO.
So, I think it's more of a seafoam.
What?
More of like a seafoam color. Turquoise.
Shut the fuck up.
A little bit of blue. Wow!
Oh, come on, man! Let's just move on.
James,
Heal.
please, this is important. What if there was another Protoss player on the map? How would you Okay, anyway, spawning here in the bottom left, it's gonna be his opponent, MVP's Blue Terran MarineKing.
Or MVPs.
Yeah. Again, I want to remind you all, Nathanius is also covering these same matches. We're both, I don't know how long he's planning to cast for, but he'll be doing the other semifinals with us too. Trap versus Choya, and of course the finals is a best of 5. This is still the semifinals on this side of the bracket. It's a best of 3, and again, there's another option for casting if you would like to go elsewhere. Before we hop too far into the game, I'm not going to go into the big spiel we did before, but I want to give a big thank you to all the patrons. I can't thank you individually. There's too many names that would probably take about 20 minutes, but thank you guys for supporting this tournament. Without the OlimoLeague, without the Patreons, pardon me, we would not have the OlimoLeague. So there's no big corporate sponsors for this. It's just you awesome folks watching. Thank you so much, guys. But HerO coming across the map with a probe. Gonna go for a bit of a pokey poke on that scout. Tasers, you know, it's not even that probes are really annoying with the way they're able to manipulate an attack, but it's just that sound. As soon as you, as a Terran player, you're like, zap, zap, you're like, oh god, I now need like 3 SCVs to build the barracks. This is so frustrating. Like, what is my
really
life?
Easy to micro probe versus an SCV, I feel like.
You know, I don't disagree with that, but also, I found that probes seem to like mineral stack a lot easier.
Yeah, they do.
I
feel like they mine faster too.
Dude, I get such like combination anxiety and frustration trying to stack SCVs in the early game. But if I play Zerg and Protoss, it's like a vacation. Like
really, I find Zerg really difficult to mineral stack properly. But Protoss really easy. Like I don't even need to do anything, and I feel like they're already stacked.
Hey, you know what's really cool? I didn't even realize this, guys. HerO streaming his matches first-person point of view on his stream. If you want to go check that out. Now his stream doesn't have a delay, so if you do go watch his stream, don't bring spoilers back to the chat. You'll get timed out. You'll get banned pretty quick.
Party pooper.
Yeah, don't be that guy. But if you want to check out his first-person point of view, you can check it out on his stream. You can find it on the Team Liquid sidebar. That's pretty cool.
Well, that's how you match the the contract requirements, right?
Well, I don't know about that. I really wish more players would stream. It sucks. Like, I'm really happy that we've got the viewership we do, but at the same time, like, I wish more players were streaming so that we wouldn't. Like, you know, like when Stefano streams, base rate TV viewership is lower, and I'm almost happy when that happens because, like, then you know there's like more awesome people streaming.
What is this? Another barrack? 3 barracks. Okay.
Yeah, playing it. Gonna get those Marines pumping. We'll see if he goes for the classic. Oh, here's the overcharge baited out. Although in the past we've seen MarineKing do a lot of those moves where he gets the faster stim and just dives through the overcharge, but without a tech lab, certainly not going to be the case.
Yeah, that used to be the fad for the Terrans for quite a while, actually. Almost like 1 full season, right?
Yeah, I would say a little bit longer than that too. It's only just recently started dying off. But some players have been bringing it back. It's kind of like we see gasless CVZ. You know, it was like a big deal for a long time, and some folks are making it a bigger deal again. Reaper Scout is only going to get this scout. It probably won't get out of the base alive. So,
no Stargate yet.
See it. Okay, no, he sees it. Yeah. Now I don't know if he saw the actual.
HerO tried.
Yeah, he did see the Oracle start. Don't know if you saw the Chrono Boost go into it or not, but this is at a timing where I don't think this is too much of a problem. MarineKing's got more than enough production. For those who don't know, the magic number for holding off an Oracle 6 Marines. Without stim, without combat shields, you need 6 Marines. So, yeah, as we see, just splits up those mineral lines and he'll be okay.
Yeah, and that's where 3 barracks play really comes useful.
Yo, you mentioned Josh earlier today. I want to go back to him for a moment. I don't know what's happened to him. But he had my favorite PvT openings for the longest time. Like, he did the double racks, but with a quick reactor and tech lab, so he'd still be able to produce enough Marines. He'd be so diligent with his scouting. I feel like Josh has become like this old man. Like, a bit rusty in his playstyle because he never seems to pull this off anymore. But Josh was seriously like my favorite Terran player to watch for openings because it was so good at shutting down oracles without disrupting his actual like game plan.
Joshi just wasn't in his regular form today, and he stressed that a lot during the quote-unquote interviews in between games. But he just pretty much went for the most standard of the standard Terran builds. Going 12-12 constantly didn't work, so he decides to go for proxy two barracks, and it works. Well, goes back to 12-12, loses. It's like, god damn it.
The other reason I brought that up was just a little bit for something. Yeah, that's funny, but yeah, the contrast of the way the MarineKing does this. He went for the double tech labs. This is usually almost like I'd say strictly a follow-up. Like you've got the factory and the starport come out much quicker, and then you swap over those add-ons later. But instead now, he's going for really fast Marauders. And what's really important is I don't know if HerO, like, he knows about the Marauders coming. That's fine. That's kind of standard and weird to see. But he doesn't know about the factory and the starport that got slapped down behind this. This is a huge push coming out of MarineKing, and this is definitely for more than just a small little bait on a photon overcharge.
This is definitely a twist to the regular 3 barracks play. If HerO doesn't see this, well, he will, right? Because the Zelnaga Tower and the probe, he will see this. But let's say he didn't, it would have cost a lot of problems for HerO.
This
because usually it's supposed to be a stim and like one marauder and like handful of Marines, right?
Yeah,
there's so many more units this time.
The hallucinated Colossus is kind of cool. I don't know if he'll fall for that, but the cannons are also another really great move. Cannons might not have the biggest influence a lot of the time because they're kind of laughable static defense versus bio, but seriously, having like 2 extra cannons can make the world of difference when your actual army supply is in the gutter like it is for HerO. The Colossus is coming in a moment's time, but it's not going to have extended thermal lance, so I mean, these Marauders are going to have that same range. They can just fight it head on.
It's going to be crucial how much mana Mothership Core has.
It's got 1 overcharge available on it right now.
I think if, say, HerO was to buy another minute with that photon overcharge, he just may be okay.
I don't know if MarineKing's going to wait for it, though. Looks like he's just going to stim and try to win with it. Force fields are looking pretty darn good, though. Yeah! Picks up with the medevacs to get away from some of this. Now he's trying to use it against the Zealots, but again, that Colossus range, kind of hard to utilize it to its fullest extent, but what? I think he's done it. I think he's held.
What do we know, right? What do we know? Wow. Great defense by HerO.
Those force fields were so good. I mean, force fields rarely come into effect versus Terran, but this was one of the scenarios where it was really good. But looks like it's not over just yet. He's going to still try and focus that Colossus. Last couple shots will take it down, but there's not enough to kill that Nexus. Picks up with the Madvax, tries to get out of here, keeps those 3 Marauders alive. This is a very expensive investment to keep these up and running. Well played out of both. I mean, HerO holds magnificently, but at the same time, MarineKing dies for that last throw and gets the Colossus, making that attack suddenly worthwhile. That was really cool.
That's liking?
Hmm?
I was lagging for a bit there in that engagement. Were you too, or is it just me?
No, it might have just been you.
Good.
No, not good, James. What the hell?
Well, it's better for the situation just being me versus
almost gets the Oracle. Yeah,
for everyone, right?
Yeah, that's the worst thing too about being like a good manner caster. You're always like, oh god, please don't be me. Oh please, I don't wanna cause these guys grief.
Another observer follows up immediately, trying to spat out that unit. But HerO's had pretty good practice of this sort of play. This is what Jockey's been doing today. Instead of going for Vikings at all, he just go for mass medevacs and constant multi-prong attacks, and that seems like what MarineKing kind of wanted to do. He has so many more medevacs than normal Terrans would. 6, and well, now he's building Vikings.
I'll catch that Oracle. That kind of sucks. There's a lot of detection through Revelation that was going to be necessary as the game continued on. But MarineKing takes his 3rd. He's going to make sure HerO doesn't. If it does, he's going to get a kill on it pretty quickly. Colossus count has risen, but I still don't think it's quite high enough to really engage this properly. It's still just 2 Colossus for this many Marauders. MarineKing could just turn around and stam on top of it. In fact, he does stam on top of it, but yeah, there we go. The first one gonna fall pretty quick. Second one, not so much. There's lost a lot of Marauders. Reinforcements coming from the south side, not quite able to clean this up. And the Vikings did fall. So MarineKing doing some fancy dancing with these Marauders, picking up and dropping in those medevacs. But
good micro though.
2 health. Yeah, good pullback out of HerO. 2 health, barely saves that Colossus. Maybe? Nope, just kidding. Again, MarineKing barely comes back and makes that worthwhile.
2 Marines. Maybe that's why he's called MarineKing.
Yeah, there you go.
Like no one else's Marines could have done that.
This is a little bit scary though, because he might, if he can break this last Colossus, Marauders beat out Stalkers so easily, even with Blink on them. But yep, pulling the boys temporarily. I don't know if this is the biggest all-in you've ever seen, but it's enough to try and focus the Colossus.
Pick up.
Oh my god, 6 health, picks up in the Warp Prism, but the Stalkers are starting to fall now. We got some Zealots coming to the mix. There's not enough Marines to deal with this though. He's gonna fall back. He's gonna fall back.
Oh my god.
MarineKing's gonna
die in the Warp Prism?
Yeah, I think he just unloaded it in the wrong spot, so it turns this around. I thought those Zealots were gonna cause way more problems. Yeah. I didn't realize the Colossus went down. Good call, James. But that being said, there's still so many more Stalkers in play. A lot of SCVs were thrown into that, but it levels out the playing field rather than killing MarineKing. However,
there's a lot of healing power out of these medevacs.
Yeah.
It pays off to have a lot of medevacs, I suppose.
That's still working out really well for MarineKing, trying to beat these Stalkers back. A small amount of Marauders getting God's work done as he pushes this back once more. Another Warp 8 comes in, but a HerO at this point, like, a couple of Zealots would go a long way. I'm surprised we don't see any Zealots coming to the mix. We do have an Immortal. Oh, that Immortal's going to shake this up. Goes down pretty quick, but it does cost him about 3 Marauders to kill that Immortal. Oh. Pick it up in the medevac is such a bad move. This is so dicey. This is still so back and forth. I think HerO may have just broken this line, but if MarineKing if he takes a second to just consolidate his forces and not trickle in, I think he can beat this back. There we go. He is actually grouping up now. So again, trying to get that 4 Marauder count up. Command Center is in a bit of danger. He's going to lose a couple more SCVs through this. But HerO has invested so much on this front lines to make this happen. The Marauders do get blinked upon, and this is looking a little bit worse for MarineKing now. HerO on the verge of possibly winning this. It's so hard to beat back these reinforcements. More Marauders coming out 4 at a time. He's starting to shred these. The SCV's trying to pick off that Immortal. Hilarious to watch, but effective to use. He does. HerO, by the way, throws a 3rd base while this goes on. Everything about this looks better for HerO as time goes on, but this is getting really intense for MarineKing because he just was barely dealing with that. I think he has finally bought himself some breathing room.
How did they do it? Wow. Like, how do you micro?
You gotta beat MarineKing, dude.
Reinforce and take an extra command or Nexus.
Yeah, HerO's actually playing this out a lot better than I thought he was going to coming into this, but we do have a Warp Prism heading towards the main. It's got a couple of Zealots in it. Yo, MarineKing, by the way, finally has, I mean, not finally, he does have a very discernible upgrade lead. This doesn't happen too often. It's often the Protoss player, of course, who takes that nice upgrade advantage, but for MarineKing to have that 2-2 is going to make these fights a lot easier to deal with, a lot more manageable as well to deal with Zealots, who normally seem somewhat indestructible. This line of barracks looks so funny. You never see these built out here.
In that fashion too.
Well,
wow, that force is actually sizable, pretty sizable for HerO to deal with. What does HerO have? Does he have any Colossus? No, High Templars are not there.
No,
he's got 1.
I don't know if the force fields will work magically like they did before. He gets some good ones down nonetheless.
Wow, amazing force field.
But he'll just focus the Nexus instead, and that will certainly go down. The Stalker count coming back home. That 1 Colossus, though. Why is it walking forward, James? This is not going to go well for HerO.
It almost looked like HerO had it.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
New Colossus coming to front lines.
Probes, no probes. Go the wrong way. GG's call, MarineKing advances to the finals, correct?
Yeah. Congratulations to him. He'll be the first.